The 1812 Ventura earthquake. This geological catastrophe, as mentioned in the title, was classified as an earthquake, which is a geophysical, not climate-related disaster. The Ventura earthquake struck on December 21st, 1812, and was classified as a massive estimated magnitude of 7.1. So the location of this earthquake was West Ventura, California, including Santa Barbara, which we can see here. It occurred along the San Andreas Fault, which is pictured here, which is the geologic boundary between the North American and Pacific tectonic plates. And the San Andreas Fault runs through nearly the entire state of California here. And the plate's tectonic setting at the time of the earthquake was a right lateral strike slip. So on the morning of December 21st, Ventura was hit with a strong quake that startled its residents of Padres, soldiers, and Indians. The residents rushed out of their homes and buildings to safety and thankfully were too afraid to re-enter because that quake turned out to just be the foreshock to the destructive main shock that followed. Due to their lightly constructed buildings, the three Catholic missions of Santa Ynez, Santa Barbara, and Prisma were most affected. Buildings were flattened to the ground, and the very important Mission La Prisma Concepcion Church, pictured here, underwent extreme damage. The quake destroyed its artwork, including various statues and paintings. So prior to the Ventura earthquake, an earthquake of 6.9 magnitude hit near the same area, just 13 days prior to the Ventura earthquake. So this earthquake, known as the Wrightwood earthquake, because the magnitude of it was so high, it triggered the Ventura earthquake. And then, of course, the main driving force was the tectonic stress buildup and movement along the San Andreas Fault. So the low estimated death toll of 2 was thanks to the foreshock that cleared most residents out of the buildings, because when the main shock occurred, the buildings were flattened to the ground, but luckily many of the residents were cleared out by that point. After the disaster, many residents fled to the mainland and the missions were abandoned until the following April out of fear of another shock occurring. Pictured here is the ruins of the Mission La Prisma Church. So buildings were destroyed and abandoned. Since this earthquake was in the early 1800s, not much technology had been developed to predict and therefore prevent the extensive damages of such a high magnitude earthquake. However, it did lead to extra caution and led to many residents relocating. Even though this earthquake was a very long time ago, it is important to know earthquake history to know what the San Andreas Fault is capable of producing. And these earthquakes over time have helped to produce the technology that we now have today to predict and prevent these disasters. And here's my works cited.